Oh, the 121st U.S. Open underway. You see Jon Rahm, the favorite there. He ended up finishing at 2 under in round number 1. He actually just finished his second round at 1 under, so he's 3 under, a 69.70. And as we bring in the great and the noble, Jamie, what's going on, my man? You got the Open underway, and somehow, some way, Richard has been anything but bland, fellow Englishman. This is a guy that's 48. He's leading the U.S. Open at 5 under right now. He has played 4 majors ever, 1 in each of the last 4 decades. What a story so far for Richard Bland, but I know you got some other guys you want to talk about as well.
Yeah, sure. Amazing. Richard Bland, he won on the European Tour for the first time at 48 years of old age this year, so taken after a Phil Mickelson. So, you know what? It's funny. I just saw it on the TV there that they both get. Mickelson was 115 in the world going into the PGA. Richard Bland is 115 in the world going into the US Open. But yeah, I mean, hell of a round for him today. We weren't really looking at him, obviously, at the start of the week.
No one was looking at him, Jamie. No one in the world was. Not even his family.
No. I mean, hey, listen, fantastic for him. But the top of the betting market definitely looked strong for this US Open. Jon Rahm obviously was one of the guys I liked. It's real tough, isn't it? Sort of an 8-9 to 1 trying to put somebody up at that price for the US Open, especially when he's never won a major. Okay, he's got some great course form around here at Torrey Pines, but you know, it's a very short price there for him. The bookmakers were having nothing to do with Jon Rahm this week, and of course Brooks Koepka. You know, he was around, what, 16 to 1, 18 to 1, I believe. You know, you've just got to trust with Brooks that he's going to show up for these US Opens, which he sort of always does, even though no matter how the tournaments and how he plays beforehand are, you know he's always going to turn up. So, and of course, you've got Louis Oosthuizen there at the top of the leaderboard. He's always up there in these US Opens. But the guys that we were on this week was Patrick Reed. Disappointing end to his round today, but hopefully he can sneak into the cut. And Justin Rose, well, you know, enough said about that, the better. And and Max Homer was the third guy, around 100 to 1, who we put up. Squeak a few birdies in there today, and hopefully can hang around for the weekend again. When you've got a leaderboard that's this tight and compact, you can have one of these guys who are just going to make the cut, and if they can shoot a 4 or 5 under in the afternoon, you know, they're going to be right in the mix come Sunday afternoon. I think we saw it before at one of the US Opens a while ago up in New York, where I think Tony Finau and shot a crazy round on a Saturday and ended up going into the final group on a Sunday. Obviously, he didn't hold on to it, but when you get these leaderboards that are tight like this, and there's not a lot between the leader and the cut line, you know what? A 4 or 5 under on a Saturday morning going out early can really get you into the mix. So nothing's lost right now. You know, again, I mean, looking at the top of the leaderboard there, you know, Oosthuizen's won a major, but a long time ago. Watson only wins at the Masters, and you know, you got Brooks Koepka who can win anywhere.
Yeah, let's you know, not forget, you know, the USGA is all about, you know, they want that score, that winning score, to be even par +1. They have no problem if it's, you know, 2 or 3 over. And as you mentioned, as you look at the leaderboard right here, let's say you mentioned home, obviously 5 over. He's going to start his round just a little bit. Remember, we're on Pacific time now, so it's 5 Eastern as we record. It's only almost 2 o'clock out there at Torrey Pines off the coast of the Marine Layer in San Diego. You get a guy like Homa that makes the cut, or you mentioned Reed, who's probably right on the cut line right now, because we all know, all due respect to Richard Bland, I don't think the lead is really 5 under right now. Richard Bland is having the round, you know, last 2 days of his life, barely playing in majors in his entire career. You get a guy on Saturdays, you mentioned a Tony Finau, or if it's Patrick Reed, or even a Max Homa, and they find a way to get in 7-8 shots off the lead, have a big day, which they could based on conditions, 4 or 5 under. You're going to be 2-3, at worst maybe 4 off the lead, and then anything can happen on Sunday. So it's a U.S. Open. You got guys like Louis, as you mentioned, Oosthuizen, who is a very solid player. he's 4 under. He could blow up tomorrow. I mean, Bubba Watson is 2 off the lead at a 4 under today. Bubba Watson can shoot a 75 tomorrow. So there's no way to know with the conditions, especially with the rough being as crazy as it is, the course playing as long as it is. So there's definitely a chance for your guys. And I wonder as we get ready for this second round to complete and looking forward to the weekend, from what you've seen so far of the research you've done on Torrey Pines and the guys you've selected, is there anything that gives you a little hope? If a Homa, who's obviously, knows this course well, played out there, from out there, Patrick Reed always has seemingly played well in majors in the last several years, that maybe gives you a little more hope if one of those, 2 guys, Reed or Homa, or both, make the cut?
Well, yeah, I mean, looking at the leaderboard right now, if you sort of stop it right now, I mean, Louis been in contention a number of times in majors, never done it. Brooks Koepka is obviously the guy who everybody's looking at, but remember in the USPGA last year at Harding Park, everybody thought he was going to kick on over the weekend, and he never did, faded away. In the USPGA this year at Kiowa Island, Bird is the first hole, takes the lead from Phil, and he couldn't reel Phil in again. And John Rahm's never won a major. So there's plenty of things there that are suggesting that somebody could come back off the pace, and it really wouldn't surprise me. You see a guy, maybe a Tommy Fleetwood there, you just scroll past, somebody like that who could go low, who's 4 or 5 shots off the lead and really get themselves in contention. I mean, that's what I would be doing it right now, is tonight, look at the guys slightly further on down the leaderboard. I know we've got these afternoon wave of guys to come through, but let's say the leaderboard stays roughly around that, where it is right now. I think you sort of look further down the leaderboard, somebody who could go low. I mean, Matthew Wolff there is a great example. I mean, look at him yesterday. That scorecard yesterday that he put in was crazy. But again, he's got the power to go low. Justin Thomas there, +2. He could go low as well. So, I mean, there's plenty of guys there further on down the list that you're going to pick up some nice odds on come tonight for over the weekend, and see what they can do. Because, hey, listen, on this golf course, there's double bogeys and triple bogeys everywhere. And when we start getting into Sunday and the final round of a US Open, I mean, we saw it last week with Chesson Hadley, didn't we, as to what pressure can do to you. And
Garrett King, just found a way. Yeah, Garrett King, he's done with it. He's done with his round. He's in the clubhouse and thinking about a playoff, Jamie. And the next thing you know, Hadley, bogey misses that putt on 18, and Higo wins. No playoff. So it can get crazy quickly.
And do you know what? It was funny last week. I was sort of watching that, and the first thing that crossed my mind was, I'm going to back him for the US Masters. A big hitting lefty at Augusta. He's going to be a hell of a price. South Africans always do well there. Big hitting lefty, like we said. You got Watson and Mickelson as always, who have both won 5 times there between them, I think. Garrett Higo, if you do want to bet for a Masters of next year at a huge price, now he's in there. He's going to be a great bet, I think, to have a bit of fun with on the anti-post market.
I love it. Do it now. I mean, Garrett Higo's 20. He is going to win majors. That guy is incredible. And you mentioned the South Africans. They do always do well at Augusta and a lot of different majors. All right, Jamie, stick around. Be back with you in a minute. I got a big question about Euro 2020, which is actually being played in 2021. We'll get to that in your bloody old England in a second. But let's bring in Sealy McNeely as we continue on the SportSedge, powered by InSpin.com and InSpin.com's handicapping network, powerful handicapping network, none bigger than Jamie and Seal. And in Seal, we got handicapper.com, sportshandicapper.com. You do not seem sour today. This is a change from the last couple of weeks. Is the driveway finally been paved? Did you get a new fish? Are you proud that Livers and Onions, your wonderful graduated daughter from the last week or so at high school, is spending the week in Myrtle Beach with a bunch of girls in one house and guys in the other? What is the non-sourness going on here?
I couldn't explain it. I really don't know. I guess baseball's okay.
Yeah, is it because maybe you've been hammering the board every day this week and pretty much winning except for maybe 1 or 2 games here or there? I mean, you've been all over it. You had 2 totals a couple nights ago that both banged over. You had a bunch of stuff going on tonight, which we'll get to in a minute. You mentioned that baseball is your favorite thing. You are the king of the Mid-American Conference as well in football, but you're really dialed in baseball right now. And there's a lot of money to be made, whether it's first 5 innings, first 5 inning totals. You've been hitting a lot of your overs as well, just regular game totals and first 5 inning money lines. What's the secret to the secret success of Seal, the king of the Seals?
The weather turned. We finally got some good weather.
We got some good weather.
Baseball in 40, 50 degrees, which happened for the first 6 weeks of the season. It's a little better, turned a little bit.
By the way, are you still wearing that stupid Trump hat? Is that what you got on again? Every freaking week I got to deal with this. I'm going to get you a Trump hat, but it's going to be spelled just T-U-M-P, Tump. So you can wear that one on the show. That way it's not political. Tump. So it is. The weather changing is a big deal. And by the way, did you enjoy my man Matt Manning for my Tigers? His first strikeout ever last night in L.A. That was a nice game. We could have taken the total over on that one, 7-5 Angels. But his first strikeout ever, Matt Manning, a very young, highly touted, highly ranked in the minor league system pitcher for the Tigers, who are a trash team right now but are rebuilding. His first strikeout ever was a former Tiger, Justin Upton, on a great fastball down the middle.
Yeah, I actually didn't see him last night, but the
game was on YouTube. It was a YouTube game.
Yeah, he wasn't very impressive, I heard. But his
he gave up 4 runs, his first ever start. The kid's, 21 years old? Give him a break. Give him a chance. He's better than any of your Phillies pitchers.
Yeah, probably, but he's a Tiger still, so.
I know. Thanks a lot. All right, let's look at the board as we get ready for a big Friday night. I know yesterday you fired like, the baseball season was ending. Today you fired again. Let's take a look at what we got tonight. I know you have a few nibbles for the people. What are you looking at on a very busy card in Major League Baseball?
Well, in the National League, I made a small bet on the Padres over 8.5. Not in love with. Saw the rookie pitch for Cincinnati. Little lucky to get out of the 4th inning. Couldn't get out of the 5th against the Rockies. I wasn't really impressed with him. Too many base runners. And
Tantalins, who you're talking about, the righty.
No, I'm talking about the guy Santillan for Cincinnati.
I thought it was Santillan. I think I said Santillan.
Santillan. And in the National League, I hate to do it, but I had to bet those Diamondbacks that kind of never win a game. They lost 21 in a row on the road. At least they're home, where they've won a few games this year. Boy, they're tail spinning, aren't they? The Diamondbacks.
I don't think there's ever been a worse team in the last 5 years of baseball than the D-backs. I mean, they're how many? What was it? The Thunder. They found a way to be a win and a half away from their season win total, then lost 21 of 22 to end the season. I mean, the Diamondbacks might lose 50 of 70.
Yeah, that's why I bet them the first 5 innings. I can't bet them in the game. They kind of never win.
No, there was great value there. It was almost, what did you get it at? Because I know it's plus. It was plus like 170 or something. It's floating around right around there right now.
Yeah, I took 185, but I also bet the team total Arizona in that game over 1.5 runs in the first 5 innings.
All right, so you think Bauer's gonna get? Oh, that's the total for both of you.
He's a spin rate guy that's probably doesn't have the stuff that he usually has on the ball, and he's been struggling lately. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he's still can pitch good. By the way, to go to the week in Major League Baseball has to be Tyler Glasnow of Tampa Bay. But he
absolutely.
Said he blamed his arm injury because he couldn't cheat and use the stuff he used on the ball before. So that's how he blew his elbow out.
Some of these guys are just absolutely stupid. All right, I'm going to get back with you in a minute. I want to bring Jamie back in. Good stuff. So once again, actually, before we get with Jamie, Arizona Diamondbacks first 5. You mentioned Arizona team total over 1.5 first 5, and then you nibbled on the Padres, the over in that game. Let me get that game up here. I had it right there. The Padres was it over 8.5? I believe.
Yes.
There it is, right there. Yeah, the Reds and Padres, and we all know the Reds can score a ridiculous amount of runs. I got it 8.5. If you go to sportshandicapper.com earlier, you're going to get Seals plays for the line moves. There was a game that you gave the other day that went up a full 1.5. Right now, the total's 9. Which do you think, is there value on the 9 even money right now in the over? No value?
No value. 8.5.
All right, well, that's a commentary and a statement to sign up for sportshandicapper.com. All right, get back with you in a minute. I got a question for you. I gave out, remember, my nibble game last week was the Tigers losing to the White Sox. They lost all 3 games, but they definitely lost that Friday night when I think the Sox were minus 125. So the Squatch is learning from Seal. Let's get back with King Jamie. Don't forget his website, scratchcaddy.com. Jamie, before we focus on what we're going to see over the weekend at Torrey Pines at the U.S. Open, the 121st U.S. Open, you woke up, I think you said you might have been staying up all night drinking before the England-Croatia game. That I told you were going to win. You got it 1-0. Now, do we have an update? Because I took England -2 today, plus 250, because I didn't see any value on the -350 on England in the longest rivalry in soccer, England-Scotland. Where are we at? Did I get lucky in a late couple goals?
No, you've done your money. It finished 0-0, completely shit.
No.
Fucking England, same as always. What can you expect?
How do they draw with Scotland? How do you draw Scotland? That's terrible.
Because England is shit. We always have been, and we always think we're going to do well in every tournament, and we just never do. So, I mean, England will never win anything. Anybody betting England at -300 today must need their fucking head testing. I mean, that performance was outrageous. But, I mean, my good God. I mean, watching that was just fucking torture. Absolute torture watching that.
Well,
and Scotland were the better team. Scotland should have won the game. Well,
I was surprised. How well they played.
Yeah, there's 25,000 Scottish fans in London tonight, and you're going to have 20,000 England fans all pissed off walking outside the stadium. I wouldn't want to be a copper in London tonight.
Well, I know it wasn't fun watching that, but hopefully it'll be fun watching the U.S. Open over the weekend. It always is. But, you mentioned, you're on Patrick Reed. You're on Max Homa. We know Justin Rose is out of it, but hopefully one of those guys, if not both, to make the cut. Right now, there's your live leaderboard. Richard Bland still at, the leader at 5 under. You've got a couple guys on the course. Bubba Watson finished with a 4 under, 67 to be 2 off the lead. But, you've got Koepka on right now. You've got a bunch of guys on. My man Xander Schauffele, but he's even on the day -2, a few off the lead right now. And hopefully we can get some of our guys like Max Homa to go low later. He's teeing off any minute now. And then obviously if the cut's at 3, Patrick Reed would make it and he can go low on Saturday. What are you looking for over the weekend, Jamie? What are you going to focus on?
Well, I think, to be honest with you, I can't wait to watch Jon Rahm. I mean, I know I asked Seal about his price earlier on in the week, but at 8 to 1, 9 to 1, I really struggle to back somebody at that price. But he could be one of the most obvious U.S. Open winners for a long time, I think. I mean, look what he did at Memorial last time when he was, basically lapping the field. He's already won at Torrey Pines. The only thing that was against Jon Rahm was his price, and he's never really been in the mix in majors. So, I mean, I mean, it looks obvious on one hand, and then he just gets completely cloudy on the other as far as betting. But I'm very interested to watch Rahm the weekend. Real interested to see what Koepka's going to do as well. To be honest with you, I'd say it's between one of those two from the guys at the top. And if you can get somebody, I'll definitely be looking further on down the leaderboard today. Guys at bigger odds, and hopefully they can shoot a score tomorrow.
Love it, Jamie. 2 guys I actually put a little flyer on myself before the round today were Tyrrell Hatton and Matthew Fitzpatrick, fellow Englishmen. So we'll see if they can get it done as well. Great stuff, Jamie, as always. We'll get back with you in a second. Let's get back with Seal before we get out of here. Any final nibbles? I'm going to do my nibble of the night that I always verify with you, whether you like it or not. First off, before we get into that, anything late that you've seen that you are maybe thinking about? I know you make your bets early most of the time, but anything that you're looking at or almost made a play on? There's one game I got for you as well.
Well, I did bet another game in interleague play. I did bet over 4.5 in the first 5 innings in the Pittsburgh-Cleveland game.
Yes.
Yes.
And that game is right here. Pittsburgh, who has been really bad,
Really bad.
Yeah, Cool has been terrible for them. They're actually a dog at home. Against an Indians team, it's obviously pretty good. Meha is the starter there. So over 4.5 in the first 5 for that game in the total. I like that. I like that play a lot. It's a 7:06 game as we record here at 5 o'clock. This is the game that I wanted to see your thoughts on. And last week I brought up a White Sox game. This week I'm going to bring up a White Sox game. You got Rodon, the lefty, going against Garcia in Houston. I like laying the 109 on the White Sox. Small play. I mean, for you, a small play is like 25,000. For me, it's like maybe $100. The White Sox going on the road, they're playing good baseball. I don't like it. Garcia has not been anything of note as of late. I think there's decent value on a White Sox team that I believe is probably better than the Astros right
now. White Sox are a little watered down. They keep losing players. I mean, if they ever get healthy,
they keep winning though. They keep winning.
If they ever get healthy, they're probably the best offense in baseball. They ever get back to 2 outfielders, but they lost their second baseman for the year. We're sitting over 300. Not many players hit over 300 in Major League Baseball anymore. In case you haven't known, Madrigal. Houston can match the ball, but they're down a couple players too. Bregman's on the DL and Tucker's on the DL. So COVID DL supposedly. Rodon's thrown the ball. I've never seen him throw the ball this well. I mean, obviously he's taking something, and it's only a matter of time till they find out what it is. Because you don't go from throwing 89 miles an hour to hitting 99.6 in the 7th inning his last start. I mean, whatever he's taking, I want some of it.
So you think there's no way he's just working hard in the with his training staff and running the bases to get in shape for his pitching starts? He's on something. He's definitely on something. He's on something. They just haven't found it yet. Don't worry. And it has nothing to do with putting anything on the ball. It's put in his body. He's on. Right, I want you on the Reddit threads. I want you calling your sources. I want info on Rodon and what he's on. Is it greenies? Is it anabolic steroids? Is it meth? I mean, we got to find out. He's a little too thick to be on meth. He's a big boy. He wasted away, I can tell you that. But he's on something because. I'm telling you, I saw him hit 99.6 on a radar gun in his final inning, his last start. He's never seen anything close to that this whole career. So do you like my nibble then? You like my small nibble on the White Sox? I don't like. I actually like the Houston pitcher, to tell you the truth. Really, I think Garcia has been very up and down as of late. But listen, once again, this is just a nibble game for me. If people are having fun on a Friday night and just want to throw a couple bucks on a game. But we already gave you what Seal's on, which is all that matters. And don't forget that last play we talked about, the Pirates Cleveland game over 4.5 in the first 5 innings. Padres over that game as well against the Reds. You got an 8.5. And the Arizona Diamondbacks team total over 1.5 in the first 5, as well as the first 5 innings money line plus anywhere between 170 to 186 for the D-backs. And you got to get Seal stuff earlier. The lines are going to move. All right, that's going to do it for us today. Let's bring back in the king of the James. Jamie, great job by you. Hopefully, I still think England's got a chance. They get through the group, man, which they should. I think your bloody old England team can still make a run, right? Yes, no, maybe?
No.
No. A simple no. He's out.
That's shit. No way.
Don't you like how much
you've got?
Go ahead.
I need help with my fire alarm. It's chirping. Does anybody out there?
Yeah, will you fix that? By the way,
I can't fix it. It keeps.
You got to replace the battery. It's very simple.
I can't open it. Where's the battery go?
All right, I'll drive over later tonight.
It's driving me nuts, and my dogs don't like it.
I know, that's the worst thing ever. That chirping noise is the worst thing ever.
Great stuff. Where's the battery go? Where's the battery go?
The battery goes in the smoke detector.
Yeah, well, how do you open the smoke detector?
You gotta get a screwdriver and you gotta open it.
I can't get the plug out of it.
All right, I'll come over later. What is that? About a 5-hour drive for me? I'll come over.
At least.
I'll charge you $1,500 and cheesesteaks, and I'll fix it for you. We God knows you can't do it, and there's no way Mrs. Seal's going to do it. And Livers and Onions is in Myrtle Beach, and Mini Seal has all of the debts to pay back for the Trump bet, so he can't do it. So I'll do it for you.
All right.
All right, Jamie, great job by him as always. Don't forget he's on Max Homo is still somewhat alive. He has a good day today. And Patrick Reed, too bad about Justin Rose, but he's always looking at potential things for the rest of the tournament. And Seal always doing a great job. Don't forget Seal's site, sportshandicapper.com, scratchcaddy.com. For Jamie, let's hopefully his England team. Don't you love English soccer fans? They're so they hate themselves. And they hate it's like me as a Detroit Lions fan. We think things are going to change. They haven't for almost 60 years. And why do we expect it to happen all of a sudden now with a new GM and a new coach who likes to bite kneecaps? Jamie's had England ever since that epic World Cup semi against the U.S. in I think the 60s or 50s. They've done really nothing. They've been such a disappointing team. But this year they were the second favorite, Jamie or Seal. They were the second or third odds favorite to win the Euros. So hopefully Jamie doesn't have to keep banging his head against the wall. What do you got going on for the weekend before we get out of here?
Well, I'm hoping that your governor can keep the lights on in your.
I know my power was out earlier. We almost had to cancel the show. I had to do it for my deck.
It sounded a lot like California. Those blue states, they have trouble keeping the lights on.
Oh, stop it! There's bad lightning storms here. Seal, I love you. Great job as always. SportsHandicapper.com, ScratchCaddy.com. Next week, the debut of Starsky, Jamie, and maybe Sideburns, all from a brand new studio in Costa Rica with high-speed internet. Seal, are you fired up about that?
I can't wait. Absolutely can't wait.
You're not going to be able to sleep all week, right?
No, I'll sleep just fine.
All right. Thanks a lot. I try to build the excitement here. For the great JB, check out ScratchCaddy.com. For Sealy McNeely, my man, SportsHandicapper.com. I'm Dan Leach, the Squatch. Be good. Keep the power on. Wear a mask if you're not vaccinated, or go get vaccinated. And I love you all. Until next time, believe in the dream. Peace, sauce.